Today we're going to look at a scene transition from augmented reality into virtual reality. So it should be a pretty quick demo. So I opened up my project here and I'm just reading that there's a newer version of the Meta XR SDK. So I'm just going to open Package Manager to update and then go into all-in-one SDK and then update to 78. Restart editor. Cool. So we've got a little green circle here. Going to close that and close out of the package manager. And I want to change one more thing before we get into our project. Go to Window, Package Manager, type in Open XR, and I'm going to switch over to the Oculus XR instead. You don't have to do this. You can if you want, but just if you want to stick with me, go ahead and do this. Go over here into Unity Registry and search Oculus, and the XR plugin should pop up, and just go ahead and install that and exit out of that. Coming up into Meta XR Tools, and there's one required fix available. So I'm going to click that and fix all, apply all. Dun, 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 XR ready for standalone. And then same thing for my little Android. Dun, 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 XR ready for Android. Cool. Okay, so I want to grab the model that I had in my last video, and I want to scene transition into a VR world. Okay, well first I need a second scene. So I'm going to come over here, and there's a scenes folder, and I'll just right click and create scene and call it VR world. I'm double clicking on VR world, and up here in the hierarchy we can see that it is open. And so now we just have to create the scene a little bit. So bear with me and feel free to watch this time lapse. Just a little overview. I dropped a plane, I made a material, and I put green on the plane. And then I had already downloaded Skybox assets from the Unity Asset Store for free. So I just imported those Skyboxes, and I dropped one that looks kind of cool into my scene. Next, what did I do? I went over to lighting, and you can find this by going to Windows, Rendering, and Lighting. And if you go over to Environment, this is another way you can change your skybox here. You can also add in fog. And the reason why I did this was just to smooth out that line in the distance. And I selected the color that was closest to the bottom of the sky. So if you see that there, that's the best color to select if you want to get that blend going on. Okay, so, and then I, of course, changed the density. Next, just for funsies, in the hierarchy, I added a light here and a point light. I added two, and I changed the color of them, and I put them inside of the head and the body, just for fun. I'm not really concerned with anything right now. I just thought maybe it'd look cool if it was like glowing from the inside. Okay, so that's what I did. Next, in order to get VR working, we have to drop in those building blocks that we've discussed in previous videos. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, it looks like 2 new blocks are available because we updated. Ooh, so I think tabletop games is new, so you can check that out. I'm gonna go into immersive experience since that's what we're doing, and drag the camera rig. Ooh, And let's drag in the interactions rig, so our hands. And we are going to talk about locomotion in the next video, so this is all I want for right now in order to get VR working. Cool, let's save that, and in GitHub Desktop, push the changes. So and in Simulator, we'll press play. We're starting kind of right at 0, I think. Our model, so we need to move our starting position or our spawn position. Other than that, it looks good. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And to do that, you just click on the camera rig. And if you want to change the player position or the spawn position, you just move this camera rig. Make sure it is that parent object and not any of the child objects. Let's move her out. Actually, we'll move her this way. Oh, this is cool because my figure is looking at the sunset already. So we will look at her and we'll turn around and we'll look at the sunset. I don't want to move the Y at all right now, just in case. But I do want to move, I want to rotate her around, or me around the camera. Looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm thinking I want the model in AR to be really teeny tiny, and then whenever I switch over to VR, the model is like huge and I can go inside of it and walk around it. So that's the idea that I'm going for. So she looks big, but we won't know until we test in headset. She's pretty big and it looks really good already with just like a few simple things. So very excited. So let's keep going. Now we've got our VR world. We have to go back into our XR world. So go to scenes and double click XR world. Do you want to save the changes you made to VR world? Save for sure. I'm just going to go into VR world and double check that's still there. Okay, it is. All right, so back over into scene 1. So when I grab this prefab, I want to transition scenes. So we are going to use a script, but we're not going to do any coding ourselves. Hooray. So before we add in the script, go to Assets, right click, Create Folder, and call it Scripts so we can be organized. And then right click and create C# script and title it grab scene transition. Grab scene transition. I'm just like double checking really closely that everything is spelled correctly, because the spelling and spacing have to be exactly the same as the spelling and spacing that is in the script that I will provide to you. So just triple check that that's good. And then you can double click this and open it up. Control All and delete that. And then paste in the code example that I put in the comments below. And I want to, and make sure you control save after you paste it. Control save before exiting out. So I want to stop here and talk a little bit about how I got this script. So I am an artist, so I do know a little bit of programming just because I code creatively in JavaScript, but I do not know C#. So coding in Unity is, you know, I could probably figure it out, but at this point we have this beautiful thing called Claude AI. And so this is how I've been doing all of my scripting in Unity. And I think I might pay for Claude AI because like I use it all the time, but I think you can get something pretty easily with the free version. So I switched over to Claude from ChatGPT just for specifically for coding because I just think it's better. It gives me the answers I need quickly. And I just want to show you this and show you how I did this. So up top, I just prompted in Unity when I grab my object, using the Meta All-in-One SDK, I want to trigger a scene transition. So just like being a little bit descriptive, but it didn't take very much to describe. And then it gives me this script here, and I tried it out, and there was an issue with it. And I went to the error logging, and I just copied the problem and I pasted it here. And there was a problem with this like grab and locate script. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm having this problem. What do I do? So it gave me a second version, so version 2 of the code that would turn off that other script that was making it not work. So that's great, fantastic. So I've basically done zero. You know, I haven't even read over the code yet. That's how easy this is. So I put in the new script, right? And okay, I'm still getting some problems. And the final problem was that the VS Code and Unity wasn't recognizing this thing called debug mode that Claude AI had created for me. So I just said, okay, it's not recognizing it. So what it did was I think it just got rid of the debug mode. So that was nice and helpful. And it does help to have a little bit of programming background, because I can read code, but I can't write C#. So that's the problem that I have. So yeah, but when there is an issue that arises, it's pretty easy for me to like see what the issue might be. Because actually I have done a little bit of programming in C#, but it was a long time ago. Long story short, the final version of what Claude had given me, it works, and it works pretty well. So you can look it over. So I'm used to seeing this as like a public string or a public float, but Claude did it differently from what I'm used to. So basically, it created this variable called scene to load, and then we are going to type in the scene that we want to load when an object is grabbed. And then there's a transition delay, so like 0.5f, so like how many seconds do you want it to take for the scene transition to occur? So right now it's happening pretty quickly. It's got a fade transition, and I haven't messed around with this yet, but I want to see if it works, so maybe we'll play with this at the end. Go ahead and exit out after you save this. It'll take a second to load, but you can click on your script here, and you can see the code in the inspector. And now we come over to the thing that we want to grab. So that's in our prefabs. In the inspector, add a component, and you can type in your grab scene transition script. Click on that. So now we've got that script on this prefab. And so the scene to load, and it's for us going to be, I'm going to come over to scenes and see exactly how I wrote it. So VR, capital V, capital R, space world with a capital W, and I'm going to type it in the exact same way. Okay. Transition delay, we'll keep it here for now. Fade transition seems to be checked, and fade time is at 1. So we're just going to keep it here and see how it works first. Oh, my room is not correct right now, but that's okay. For this video, we'll just see if the transition works. It did not work, which is to be expected the first time around. So let's figure out what we're doing wrong. Oh, I forgot one thing. So go to File, Build Settings, and you have to have all the scenes in Build in your build settings. So I totally forgot about that. So so go back into your VR world, and when you're here, File, Build Settings, Add Open Scenes. Boom. Okay, exit out of that and save. And then going back into XR world, let's try it one more time. Dun 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 dun! Woo! Here I am. Whoa, this is so cool. All right, it works. Super easy. So now you can just reuse that script. You could put something in your VR scene that transitions back into your XR scene. You could do some scripting for yourself if you know how, or you could use AI to help you do something new. So maybe after a certain amount of time, you might want to transition back into XR. And so you could be like, okay, Claude AI, edit this script so that instead of grabbing my object to scene transition, after a certain amount of time, the scene transitions or something like that. And maybe do a little bit of on your own, figuring out how to do what you want to do. Another thing that we could do is maybe if we move around and we reach a certain location, it will change us back to XR. So in the next video, we are going to talk about locomotion using our XR hands. We're going to teleport. We will also teleport and turn. So more on that later.